guys, we are checking out the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. I have played the Stanley Parable before, so I'm really curious if this Ultra Deluxe is worth it. I did, when I started up the game, it did ask me if I've played Stanley Parable before, and I said yes. So this could be a different story, depending on if you have history with the previous game or not. But I have no idea. I have no idea what we're getting into. I figured we'll just be surprised together. So let's check it out.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, yep, we're in control now. Whoa. We kind of like skate. Let me change the sensitivity really quick. Well, I guess the skating is just kind of how it is. Can't really figure out how to change that, so. All right, let's go around. Let's see what we can find. Anybody there?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, we'll go to the meeting room.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
So this is what I did when I played last time too.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I love this. Let's try every single door. Can't click these. All right, let's go see. What's this going on with this meeting room? Oh. See if there's any other. Oh. Some of this looks a little different. It's been a really long time since I've played this game, so I may not remember everything perfectly, but some of this does feel a little different. Oh. Oh. Somebody's playing solitaire.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, I never do exactly what they say.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Yeah, perfect.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Just to admire it. I mean, so far it seems really similar to the original, so I'm curious when we'll notice a change. it stink to have like an office like this where like people could just like walk by and look at you? Ugh. I wouldn't like it.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Totally worth
Stanley
it.
simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Drinking it all in.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
How dare you? Don't tell me what to do. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, right. I do remember this. I do kind of... Can't I jump? Let me look. Jump is space. Okay. So the first time, let's just do whatever the heck we want. And then we'll go from there.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I know. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. Don't tell me what to do! Ooh, yeah, there's lots of cool stuff down there. Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his
Plunge
death.
to his
Good
death.
job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay, that's got to be an achievement. I'm surprised I didn't get one. Okay. All right, we'll follow the stuff this time and see where it wants us to go
All of his
after.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, go into the meeting room. Turn off all these computers. Waiting input. Ooh, input received. What? Don't remember that. That's like a new little thingy. Okay. Let's get back to the meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
Meeting room.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Whiteboard manager. Oh my god. I love it. Oh. Graphs about things and money. Oh my god. Hilarious. Okay. Remember the broom closet had...
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was
Sick.
nothing here.
No,
so
no.
he turned around and got back on track.
Isn't there some significance in here?
There
Pretty
was
sure.
nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Thought there was an achievement for the broom closet.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh. What's down here? What's in there? Ooh. I'm really tempted to, like, go in here again.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
What the?
For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
What?
Why
Oh
did
no!
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Uh-oh.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley.
Help!
I have a boss. I have an office. I am real.
Help!
Just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must
Help!
be. Hear my voice. Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh. We start again and start again and start
This
again
is
and
the
start
story
again.
of a woman named Mariella.
Mariella.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Although
Yikes.
she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Yeah, no time for an ambulance. Okay, this time we'll really follow instructions.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, it's off now. Who farted? Oh, here. This one's on. All right, we gotta turn them all off. Oh. Okay, this time we'll really go to the
Stanley
left
came
and
to a
do
set of
stuff.
2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
All right, let's go to our boss's room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
no.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Don't mind if I do. All right, this time we're
Coming to
going
the
upstairs.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh, very grand room. Ooh, money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast. Money! Chris. Extreme bathrooms. So funny. Ugh. Ooh. Did they leave their computer on? Ooh. What? Business strategy. Oh, jeez. Graphs. Indoor monthly. Ooh. Do we go? We should really go to the boss's office. We said we were going to follow instructions this time.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
What?
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Sheer luck.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Sheer luck. Oh, sheer luck. Ooh. What's over here? Nothing? I need a flashlight. There we go. What does it all mean?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ooh, what about the escape? Escape. Escape. Push the button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Oh, fired. What's that one over there? Weird. Oh, we go this way.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Couldn't be
Had Stanley
true.
really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
The narrator is great.
But here was the proof. The heart of the
facility
operation.
power.
Controls labeled with emotions.
Offline.
Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I will dismantle the controls. We need some lights up in here. Barely see anything. System offline. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
All right, we're just gonna do exactly what we're being told. So we're gonna do If you're like me, you really wanted to press the on button though.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Tova?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building
Who
hold?
knows?
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been
Not my
seeking,
problem.
but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Yes, please. Ooh.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I mean, so far, this is exactly like the original Stanley Parable. So nothing is different. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What
could it mean?
We're gone.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No more meeting rooms. Ooh. Input received. Oh. So does it just keep like changing computers? Because it was over here. I have to hit it a few more times. Oh, new content. Yes, I want new content.
New content?
Ooh.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Content.
I know. I want new content though. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh, where are we going? Oh, ah. Wow.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Well, this sounds delightful.
Very
I'm
delightful.
excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Me too. What's over here? Can't go. All right.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
For sure.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
This is exactly what's going on through my head. It's so funny. The narrator is spot on.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay.
New
Let's
content.
see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
Gimme, gimme, gimme. Oh. What?
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh. All right, we're definitely doing this. All right. What's over here? Where's my water bottle?
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be
No.
something else, right?
Yeah, surely.
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Not
It's
positive.
just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 30 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more.
More new
Very
content.
Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable
No.
is really about.
Restart.
No frills, no gimmicks.
No.
Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend? Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
No! You're not gonna trick me. What's up here? Oh, that's the real... Yeah, no, I'll go in the vent. I'll go in the vent. How do... Ooh. Oof.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
Ooh.
Take a look.
Yeah, don't mind if I do. Where are we? Is this Final Fantasy?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
This is really cool. Smile because it happened. Oh, the achievements. Yeah, don't play for 5 years.
And over
How
here is
nice.
where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them.
It's exactly all those things.
It's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Ooh. Down here. You tricked me. Person of the Year, Stanley. Oh.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
In there? The serious room. 2013. I went in the serious room.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
I don't know. Oh. This must be where the bad reviews go.
Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam.
Oh,
the
no.
online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's being collected.
Steam reviews.
Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Surely. I don't think so.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Over here. Alright. More bad reviews. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're not gonna like these. Oh, this is a thumbs up. Uh-oh. Thumbs down.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Preachy!
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear.
I love the narrator.
Memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Oh, no, it's sterling. Very sterling. Ooh, could we go down there? Oh, yeah, I guess we have to. Oi!
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
We shall have it. Here it is. Fast forward. Let me see what's around here first. What's back here? I love how they design the rooms too, because it really makes, like, it intrigues you. Like, you want to go
and here it is.
Walk around in a big
Give
circle.
it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second mind. Oh, you're back, you see.
I'm back.
You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal. Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley.
Oh, no. Oh, God. The plant's dead now.
I have someone to talk to again. Stanley,
Not me.
I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Oh, no. Is it the...
Hello.
Hello.
So, you're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
This is very entertaining. Oh, is he gone? Ugh.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their... The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Where's my skip button? Ah! Oh no. Got a water pipe burst. Oh! The whole building is decaying. What? This is great. Oh, I love this. Wow. I really love that. Oh. What has happened? What was the screeching? Give me my skip button! Uh-oh. I think the skip button broke. Oh, what's over here? This is so cool! Wow. So cool. Let me up here. Let me up. Let me up. Wow. I'm assuming the skip button is no longer working. Yeah. So we've got to go find our way. We'll go that way. Straight ahead. Oop. Maybe. There we go. Wow. Oh. Now what? No! No! Oh, well, we do need to do those other inputs. Remember? We gotta find that computer.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
What?
If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Ugh. I don't like the sound of that. Where's the input screen? Don't see it on this one. New content. More new content. Ooh. What's in here?
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
What? More new content? No, not the elevator again.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
All right.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
427, Stanley Parable 2.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
What's over here? I don't like areas that are roped off. Oh. Don't mind if I do. Here I am. The back. 2 doors. New hotness. Cool red section off the chart. I love it. Ooh, what's over here first?
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Okay.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Who took the red marker? Me! Sequels are good. Portal 2. Half-Life 2, Batman, Arkham Asylum 2, Divinity, Original Sin 2, yeah, for sure. Doom 2, Return of Jafar, Dark Souls. This way to the show floor. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, can I get a seat? New features. New content. Oh, I like it. I like it very much. I also...
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Don't mind if I do. There. Oh, merch. What you got? I saw the new content. This shirt is the best new feature. The end is never the end. I love that. Office decorations, Stanley Parable reassurance bucket. Oh man, there's so much to look at. Hear your name in the game. Enjoy. Ooh. I mean, obviously I want to go there, but... Oh man. Do you have to like pick and then commit? What is this? I'm sorry, but this is just too tempting. What's up here?
An
Epilogue.
would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley?
It would be fun.
Yes, it will go at the end of the... well, we'll figure that out later.
Oh. This looks so cool, though. I love walking through here. This is really fun. Settings. World champion. Oh. What do you mean? I mean, I want to see all the other stuff. The jumps remaining. What's up here? What is that?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting
How far
all
out
of
can you
them.
go?
I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Your unremarkable life. There's one. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I see it. I want it. That's very cool. Ooh, 1 of 6. Are there really 6 out here? Yeah, I want to collect them all. All right, I've got to keep my eye out.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
So what's down here? Was there...
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well.
No.
Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle?
Yes.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Yeah. No screenshots. What? What's in here?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration.
Get well
like
someday.
balloons. But I'm undecided on Get
Step-niece.
Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday for sure.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Oh.
Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Moving on. We gone here yet? starting to lose
A common
my
complaint
place.
of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime
Where?
you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and
there it
your
is.
heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a
Less
pain in the ass that
uncomfortable?
would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Thank you.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort.
That's such an
even in the
evil
face of
laugh.
crushing despair must already be sweeping through your body.
Yes, it
And in
is.
fact,
I'm stealing
can I
it.
say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Thank
I think
you.
that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they?
Yes,
All this
on and
more
on.
awaits you in the Stanley Parable too.
Thank you. I'm taking the bucket with me.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Pretty sure it's not an award. What's in here? What the? Oh, just went behind the scenes. Okay. So here's the name thing.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, fantastic. Try it here.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay.
All right, set me up again. Set me up
And
again.
this time, let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
Jim.
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of
Yes.
here.
Yes.
I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Okay. Will do. These are all great,
Maybe
though.
I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Possibly. Ooh, free, new, and easy achievement. Yes, I want that. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Free achievement. Get yours right now. Pull the lever. Receive your new achievement. No more steps. Get it right now. All right, let me pull the
Now,
lever.
here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident?
Yes,
Well,
I
I'm
do.
developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's a... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Ugh. Give me my achievement. Okay, I think there's only one other place to
What
go.
else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Yeah, I think it's just down here, right? Pretty sure? Infinity. It just keeps going. Yeah, what's in here?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game.
Just a big hole.
A hole that you can fall down forever. That's
Forever?
infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
What else is around here? No more secrets? So you just fall into the big hole? What if I don't want to fall into the hole? Geronimo!
You see, isn't it wonderful?
Actually, it kind of
One
is.
more
It's kind of
ingenious
fun.
concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Okay.
Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
What happens if I don't? I don't like to listen to instructions.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated.
It's not an infinite hole.
Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say
Deep
it's
hole.
an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of
Oh, here it
infinity.
is. Here's the
From one
end.
perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Oh,
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole.
the
You
bottom
found
of
the
the
answer.
hole.
I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're
New
so
mug.
clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
Yeah.
Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on.
Why are there
I'll
no
just be up
secrets
here
down
when you're
here?
ready.
I wonder how long until he, I wonder how long until he comes back and he's like, come on, Stanley. Can't believe there's no secrets down here.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the
What if I jump in the hole again? We're doing it.
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter?
It
to you
did
this
seem
time? I
shorter.
couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before.
I definitely did.
admittedly,
Oh,
I didn't make an infinite hole. I
It's-
didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough?
No.
I'm positively thrilled.
how far is it
Could
now?
I have guessed you're back in the hole? If this starts to become a thing where...
Look,
Wow. Okay. Yes.
it's definitely getting
I'm starting to become
shorter.
extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
For sure.
I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shape of my lie has come to haunt. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth,
What the
I
heck?
just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Oh,
Is the
it's not working.
teleport button not working?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for.
No!
It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
No. What? What's that? Something happened. We're sinking. What? Oh, that's cool. Really like this. Ugh. All right, G, let's see what it does. I like the original. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, I like that one.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley!
I'm busy. Ugh.
Look, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there.
I don't
drifting
think
away
so.
to Dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment.
No.
So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Toodlepip. I've never heard that sign off before. We're done in the hole. All right. Where are we?
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
So we've done most of these. Reassurance bucket we've got. We did that room. I think there was new content up here that we haven't explored. What about up here? Settings, world champion. Huh. All right, what else is there? See an exit down here. I do think that we've seen everything now. So we could try this exit. Oh, what's this? You are here. Oh. Oh, here, exit down here. Ooh.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to
so.
move on now?
What's this? Ooh. That's cool looking. Ooh, what's this?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
I
Yes, I know it's not
love.
exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul.
Oh, me too.
To work, there's definitely a good game in there somewhere.
Oh,
So let's do an experiment.
Yeah.
I'll arrange these new features together.
Okay.
And we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Yes. Let's try it.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on.
I don't
Let me
know.
do a different arrangement.
Okay.
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about
Take
it.
2.
Here we go. Version 2.
Yes.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans
Yeah,
to
more
love it.
magic.
No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it.
Okay.
Tastefully, of course.
Tastefully.
With respect, with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Okay, let's
Go
see
ahead.
it.
Take a look.
I like that very much. I really like this. Just gonna say, I almost just want to watch it. It's so nice. Begin the game. Let's do it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number
The Stepnice
427.
balloons.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Press I,
This is
press
what
space
employee
bar.
427 did every day of every month of every year.
Yikes.
Although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Employee 427.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Why would the
All of his co-workers
happy
had gone.
12th birthday Stepniece be all
Stanley
over the
decided to
office?
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wouldn't you just give
No matter
that?
how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I like work, I just hate my boss. Okay. Oh, here's our bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Yes, don't mind if I do. Ooh. Is there new content in there? Hey, let me in. What the?
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
Yes, magical bucket. Uh-oh, where's my new content? It was right here before. No! Where's my new content? No. I don't want to go to the meeting room.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I kind of don't want to, but I will. We'll go to the broom closet. We know that's a safe space.
Still no one was here.
Still.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it?
Yes.
The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you?
Yes.
The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies.
Please
Please,
forget.
Stanley, don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and
Yeah.
lifelong friend. You can't hand it over.
No way.
We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
How dare
That your
they?
relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I'd never.
I'm out of here.
Lay into it. Really tell the broom coming to a staircase. Stanley and the
Yeah,
bucket
I'm
walked
outta here.
upstairs to the boss's office.
I'm out of here. No, let me in. Ooh, is the bathroom also closed? Oh, no, you can still go in here.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember,
What?
no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
All right,
You can't
I'll
buy
take
that
it.
sort of happiness, Stanley.
Nope.
God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
All right. I sure will. Well, it was worth coming in the pooper for that. I can't believe I can't open this door. Let me in here. Oh, you left your laptop on. Or your awaiting input. I only have 2 more left.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Yes.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
Yes.
It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk.
Yeah, what was the
Nor
code
his
again?
bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
Okay.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Sheer luck.
The bucket knew all along. Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Very logical. Oh,
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands?
mini
Stanley
stands. I like that.
What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Don't mind if I do. There's nothing else over here. Nope.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Indeed. Oh. I didn't know we
Wait,
could go
Stanley
back
said to the
upstairs.
bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3.
Really?
I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
Okay.
The bucket said nothing.
All right, we're going to press the number 3 when we get back. Let me out. Let me out. I want to press number 3.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over.
Does nothing.
Well, he said, the number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life.
Ooh, what if
Stanley
we hit the
looked
thing again?
expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this
dare
not
you,
as
bucket?
exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
Darn.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
All right.
A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind.
Why?
Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again?
God,
Stanley
no.
and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control
Escape!
Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
No, a violent death.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
What's up
At this
here?
point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
What kind of a death would the bucket have? Ooh. Is this the infinite hold? Uh-oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be.
So meaningless.
It puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace them.
I want to go over there.
This is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death. This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Oh. Ha ha ha.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Oh no, I don't have the bucket. That's interesting. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like the bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within. A cavernous void. But through the use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we can have. Will you take what you learn here with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? I don't know. Oh, is that the bucket?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
A bucket with two handles. Creating a bucket with two handles was seen as too dangerous, recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for having attempted it. It's funny. What's up here? Inferno bucket. No one can control the bucket. Oh. The stress bucket. Coping strategies. Holes. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity be worthy of its treasures.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Ooh, the hanging bucket. Ooh. This distance inevitably is for our own good. The infinite hole. Should I jump into it or should I go back down? No, I'm going to jump. Hiya! Oh, what?
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Pretty brutal. Oh, it just said something for like a split second. There's the subtitle, but there was no narration. I didn't read it. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I know how long the Stanley Parable can be. And there's probably a lot of like little things for us to still explore. So this might be a good place to save and end things for now. And then we'll definitely pick this back up because I do want to finish it to see what else is in store in the Ultra Deluxe edition. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.